Mindless repetition. I have come to bitterly realize that discipline and consistency are overrated. Highly overrated. I've spent the last decade of my life, from my early 20s to my early 30s, giving into the lie that discipline transforms your life and that consistency beats talent, blah blah blah. I mean, for certain situations, as to establish something, then yes, consistency and repetition through discipline is definitely the key to making something firm and steady. However, I've come to realize in my LE-ACU practice that nothing lasts forever, or shouldn't. Everything is temporary, everything is seasonal, and so, at some point, the repetition of everything we do must stop. That is, if we want to continue optimum health state and progress. Discipline is good to make you get the most out of the temporary improvement upgrade in a season in your life. However, the same discipline that could have aided you to make the necessary steps to get the best out of something new in your life can work against you when the inevitable time to change and adapt comes. Discipline can create attachment to the soothing comfort of consistency. The brain naturally craves for consistency, but outdated consistency can be harmful if not stopped in time. Discipline to outdated actions can turn you into a scarcity circulator, and that was the hard truth I discovered by the end of this current carousel. There is such a thing as an ACU loop, a mindless repetition of accumulation without elimination that can stagnate many aspects of your life, from your body to your environment. There is such a thing as an LE loop, a restricted repetition of elimination without accumulation that can worsen many aspects of your life, from your body to your environment. There is such a thing as a discipline loop, an unflexible repetition of outdated actions without adaptations or necessary modifications that can stagnate your progress and evolution, from your body to your environment. We are made of changes. We seasonally and cyclically need to let go of previous actions we used to repeatedly do, and then we need to adapt to the improvement upgrade or new version that we receive every new min-max cycle. That's the natural flow of life. This is the natural flow of evolution and progress. This is the secret to optimum health state and regenerative rejuvenation. Discipline is a good tool to have in life just along creativity or being smart, but nonetheless just one more tool in your toolbox of life. Discipline is not the solution for every situation that you face, and sometimes other tools must be used instead of discipline, for example adaptation. The tools for progress. When we first need to incorporate a new improvement upgrade into our life, motivation is the starter tool. Then discipline is the next tool that aids you to continue with the hard work required to get the most out of this current upgrade in this season of your life. But when the season inevitably comes to an end, discipline is no longer needed. Discipline must be put back in the toolbox for later use, and the next tool to grab is detachment. After detachment has helped us let go of the outdated repetition, the next tool to grab is adaptation, then motivation, then discipline, then detachment, and then again adaptation. Tool after tool in an eternal cycle of progress and regenerative rejuvenation. Discipline loops. Unfortunately, some people fall in the trap of unevolving repetition. They fall in love with discipline and start to ignore the upgrade notifications sent every new min-max cycle. When the season of use is over, discipline must be stopped and put back in the toolbox. However, some people simply don't get the message or decide to overlook it. Detachment must be used in order to end the outdated usage of a situation in our life now that their season is over and the min-max cycle has sent us an upgrade notification. However, discipline can be like a chain to something we've grown used to repeatedly doing over and over and that has given us much results, but everything is temporary, including discipline. Some people become disciples of discipline, always repeating what has worked in previous seasons of their lives, but never paying attention to the necessary adaptation and modifications required for the next seasons of life. Everything is temporary, everything is seasonal, but some people refuse to accept that, and so, they fall victims to the same tool that helped them so much in previous seasons. They get inside a discipline loop. A loop of unevolving repetition, a loop of unadapting repetition, a loop of outdated actions that no longer work nor are needed for the current stage of life you are experiencing. And this is a hard pill to swallow for people who have fallen in love with their discipline loops. Those who resist change and refuse to incorporate adaptations and modifications as the new temporary improvement upgrade in the next min-max cycle will unfortunately become scarcity circulators. It doesn't matter if they had temporarily become thriving evolvers for a season of life thanks to discipline. Discipline was only meant to be a seasonal tool, not a forever device that is never turned off. That's unfortunately not how optimum health state works. This mentality of discipline superiority as the supreme skill to have can lead you to pessimum health state if detachment is not used right after. The choice is yours. To the very few who made it to the end, I want to tell you this. We often hear, discipline and consistency are key, or consistency is king, or something similar. And while this can be truth, this is just incomplete advice. What the moon and the earth have taught me, min-max cycle after min-max cycle, is that adaptation is key and adaptation is king. Nothing on this earth triumphs adaptation, not even resilience, not even discipline, not even consistency. Because consistency and discipline are the constant doing of something, often without paying attention if modifications are needed. We need to use discipline and consistency as tools, not as guiding compasses. Modifications through adaptations are necessary. Then, we can be disciplined and consistent again with our routines for a while, ideally only for a season, maybe a couple. Because, believe me, changes are coming. Whether you want them or not, whether you expect them or not, whether you prepare for them or not. The following is what the earth and the moon taught me about disciplined repetition that does not adapt. Change is inevitable, adaptation is the goal. Do not get too comfortable, because everything is about to change. Sincerely, Mother Earth. Change is inevitable, change is part of the cycle. Earth has 4 changes within a cycle, and it never complains, it just deals with them accordingly. Changes usually arrive in the form of problems and remain in the form of a lesson. The min-max cycles have the purpose of change for adaptation. Life is supposed to change, little by little, cycle after cycle. Adaptation is the goal, through periodical changes. Those who understand change and embrace it will be able to better adapt to the inevitable tilts and challenges in the environment, ensuring a better equipped existence. While those who hate change and reject it will be ill-equipped to the challenges and constant tilts in the environment, decreasing significantly their chances at continuing existence. Comfortable is a trap. The purpose of a civilized life is not to be comfortable, but to evolve faster and easier. Those who get too comfortable develop an aversion for change and refuse to adapt, unable to survive and consequently die in a future cycle. The purpose of a civilized life is to radically accept the current environment, regardless of how it used to be. Analyze, adapt and evolve with the environment or be left behind extinct with those who got too comfortable. Change demands adaptation or soon perish. The past environment doesn't exist anymore. Adapt and let go. Let go and move on. Don't dwell on the past is gone, what's left is your future and new opportunities in future cycles. The past environment from previous cycles doesn't exist anymore. Living by the standards of a dead environment is a waste of energy. Talking about how things used to be won't bring the current environment to be like the past environment. It is hard, but it is what it is. Radical acceptance says that environment you knew and prepared for is gone, the environment has changed and now it's time to move on. Luckily, the cosmos nature is designed specifically for situations like this. Not everything is lost, because the cosmos wants to help you adapt and become stable, but only if you cooperate. In future seasons of your life, you'll have the force of expansion of the cosmos to your favor and you can tell the cosmos how do you want to explore new environments to make up for the one that is gone. Easier said than done, but timing with the force of expansion of the cosmos can bring much needed positive change to move on from a dead environment. Be patient. Still, the cosmos cannot do anything for you, you still need to do your part and cooperate. Let go of the past, we cannot live there anymore, you don't deserve to stay behind and Mother Earth doesn't want you to stay behind, that's why it sends the force of reduction at the end of each cycle of your life. Take the lessons learned in time to move away. If you learned the lessons, it was not a waste of time, it was an adverse outcome and now we know what not to do ever again, because now you are less naive, you have thicker skin and now know better. Don't hold on to old versions of yourself to fit in the comfort of an environment that doesn't exist anymore. Let your past life become nourishment for your new life. Adaptation after adverse outcome. In this life, one has to adapt to the inevitable bad decisions one makes. It's the way it goes. You try something, it has an adverse outcome, then you adapt as fast as you can, ideally. An environment can always change, if a movement gets big and grabs momentum. Adaptation is imperative and old dreams must be let go. It is what it is. It has always been like this and it will always be like this. Trial and error. After trying something new for the first time, chances for an adverse outcome and things going south are likely. It's inevitable. As a matter of fact, adverse outcomes are a higher possibility than advantageous outcomes. Failing is often not part of the expectations, but often a part of the reality. After failing in the first trial and error phase, disappointment, frustration, sadness, and even depression are common responses for weeks and months to have. It's part of the process, however, you must not reside here. Take a few weeks off, maybe a few months in the case of a big elimination, but then try again. You have to try again, but wiser this time. Now you know what doesn't work, we learned it the hard way. We know better now, therefore next time we try, we are less likely to fail. Starting a new cycle after an adverse outcome. It takes courage to try something new after repeated adverse outcomes. Not everyone recovers after failing and disappointment. Many people set roots in the depression of their broken dreams. Don't let that be you. Overachievers and thriving evolvers are not where they are because all they do is win. Actually, they fail more often than underachievers and scarcity circulators. The difference is, overachievers and thriving evolvers keep trying after failing until they get it right, whereas underachievers and scarcity circulators, they try once, it goes horribly wrong as an adverse outcome and then they never try again. A thriving life. A thriving life is only built by many trials that after resulting in adverse outcomes were immediately eliminated and then adapted into more advantageous trials and retries.